Hey, welcome back everyone. Today I have a beautiful blank of Tupelo. I've turned this before. I made a big platter. I love the way it turns. Great stuff. It's got some cracks, but I think we'll work past those. And measuring 6 by 8. You can see it's been sitting around for about a year, so it should be kind of dry. This will be the top. And I'm going to go ahead and make this the bottom here. We'll kind of scoop it up because of that void this way. And anyway, but it's got some gorgeous figuring already. You can see here, and there's spalting over here on this side. So anyway, I'm excited. Let's get going. So just bringing in the corners here to try to get it into round. I've kind of got an idea of what I want to do as far as the shape goes, but you know how that goes. Doesn't always go as planned. So I'd rather not forecast it. Haha. Now that I've got the tenon on the bottom there, I'll go ahead and finish the rest as far as getting it into round as well. And we can start working on our shape. Really pretty figuring is starting to really show. I've got one decent little void, but I think again we can turn past that. So I'd like to keep as much of the width at the top as possible and bring the bottom in a little bit more dramatically. Anyway, that's the plan. If you haven't worked with Tupelo before, try to get your hands on some. It cooperates really well. It's a lot of fun to work with. Just going to square up our tenon. I didn't want this to be a real straight angle, so using the round carbide here to just very slowly bring in the shape. Starting to kind of get to my finished shape here, and but there are a few little checks that I need to contend with. We'll get some sandpaper on this and get it start getting it smooth and to the point where we can turn it around and work on the inside. So as I was sanding this and I was really looking at the bottom, I'm noticing there's a big crack in it. It seemed like this piece actually was threatening to come off. So I'm gonna shore things up with some CA, and we'll put some very fine coffee ground in there also. Now we'll get some alcohol on it to clean it up, get rid of our dust before we move forward. We're going to use a little bit of Axe abrasive paste to get us up to about 1,000 grit finish and really smooth this piece out on the outside. Keep working till your paper towel is clean. And a lot of times off camera I'll do a little bit more alcohol just to make sure there's no residue on there. But really brings the color out as well. Hollowing process was pretty straightforward. Again, this wood cooperates really well, even though it's only been sitting for actually about 1.5 years. It had a pretty low moisture content, so wasn't dry and brittle, but it wasn't wet either. It's really nice to work with. So I'm using a technique here where I do a pull cut and probably should not have gone as deep as I did, and this is why. Yeah, so there's that. So, searching through the ground and try to find my pieces. And luckily, I was able to do that. And we'll see if we can get this glued back on and see if it looks okay. I'll use my bowl gouge now, a little bit more of a conventional hollowing tool, even though this is a little bit of an enclosed opening. Still probably the safer way to go until we start getting a little deeper. So right around this point, I was kind of feeling like I was making the shape of a spittoon a little bit. So, let me know what you think. I decided to use a Forstner bit just to kind of get the bulk of that center mass out of there, save a little bit of time, and worked out great. Straight push cuts with the square carbide, so I'm not pushing side to side so much, and The idea is to definitely keep the piece in the chuck. We'll smooth out the tool marks with the negative rake scraper. This is a really good heavy tool. Love it. Time to get some sandpaper on it. Start smoothing out that inside and see if we can get her finished off. I did burnish with the Scotch pads also. I like the look that it gives, and works out real well. So same thing, we'll get some alcohol on here to kind of get rid of all of our dust and everything before we do anything else, especially before we use any abrasive paste or anything like that. Now we need to turn it around and eliminate that tenon, and I'll leave just a little bit of a nub in the middle, and I'll take that off at the drill press and I'll drill it out just the right size for my branding emblem. Definitely got to make sure it's concave though, so it sits nicely and doesn't wobble on a counter. A little bit of the Axe abrasive paste. And I went off camera to the drill press, and time to get that emblem on and finish this up. We'll finish with my favorite, which is the Danish oil. It's food grade. I love the way that it looks. It doesn't really change the color, brings out the grain really nicely. If you've enjoyed the video, I hope that you would give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you do anything differently. Thanks so much for the support. Best way to support the channel for free is to hit that notification bell when you subscribe. It really helps each and every one of you, more than you know. Again, thank you for sticking with me on the ride here, and after picks are coming up in just 1 second. Stay tuned for those, and I will see you soon.